Alright, in this video we are setting up Jorik next to Orioles reliever Michael Givens. The angles of the two videos aren't the same, but hopefully we can still make it work. Let's dive in. Jorik's start position is good in that he's holding his glove close to his body. Givens does this too. Holding the glove close avoids any unnecessary movements. Unnecessary movements result in unnecessary energy. Givens is a little more active, however. See his power stance. His back leg is bent, and his upper body is already slightly bent over. That his upper body is bent over is going to help save him a split second of time during his windup. We will see that in a bit. My tip for Jorik would be to match Givens. Stand a little bit more active, like you would at bat, with bent knees. The windup. Here we see immediate differences between Givens and Jorik. Givens winds up by bringing his knee up and back. Doing this forces his hip out, which is later going to help him drive down the mound to home plate. Jorik lifts up his leg, and by doing so is already open. He lifts his leg up and forward. This means that he is drawing no power from his back leg, which is where so much of the power should be coming from. The tip here would be to focus on driving down the mound with your hip. The glove. Givens keeps his glove even with his front leg. Because his leg lift is back, his glove side moves back too. By doing so, he twists his upper body back, which will result in a more powerful pitch. Jorik also has his glove follow his leg. However, because his leg's first movement is out and forward, his glove does that too. This is inefficient. It's good to see that his glove follows the leg, but let's get that leg lift to go back, which will push the hip forward and twist his upper body. The break. Givens and Jorik have different breaks in that Givens is standing a little more upright. This is just a difference in form between these two pitchers. The one is not more right than the other. Jorik is trying for a more submarine-style pitch, which adds a little ripple to the ball he's going to throw. What I like in Jorik's break is that the glove hand and the ball hand are more or less symmetrical. This is good. This is how it should be done. But let's look at how far Jorik is bent over now. Pretty far. That's fine, except I'd like to see Jorik's starting position, when he's getting set on the rubber, to also be a little bit more bent forward. Not only will this make him more active, but this will also reduce the time that his windup takes. A quicker windup also gives the catcher a better chance of throwing out potential base stealers. We can take another look at Jorik's front leg here. It's already halfway down the mound. His hip is back when it should be forward. The hip should drive the pitch, not the front leg. If anything, Jorik should focus on this when he practices his pitches again. Let me pause the video here once again to show the good break. Jorik's front and backside are more or less symmetrical. Ideally, Jorik's glove side would be bent inwards at the elbow to make complete symmetry, but as long as he pulls his glove in at the end, which he does, the result is the same. Hip-shoulder separation. Here's the fantastic and almost impossible phenomenon known as hip-shoulder separation. Let's look at Givens. Again, the camera angle isn't ideal, but I think we can still get an idea about what he's doing. He's landed with his front foot and his hips are still trailing behind him. Look at his back hip. It's still got a little ways to go before it's completely open. If we look further up Givens' body, we see that his arms and shoulders are still more or less in the break position. So where the hips are open, facing the catcher, his shoulders are still very much closed. This is called hip-shoulder separation, and if you can master this, hard power will result. Now let's look at Jorik. His front foot is landed and his hips are open. In fact, his back hip still needs to travel a bit, like Givens. This is fine. But if we move further up Jorik's body, we see his shoulders are very much in line with his hip. His whole body is open and facing the catcher. Jorik has no hip-shoulder separation. Again, this element of the windup is very difficult. You can't just practice pitching and hope you'll master this. You need to stretch every day and do specific things that encourage hip-shoulder separation. Yoga and Pilates are very helpful in this. There are some other things you can do at home, other stretches. A Google search will help you out there. The thing is, though, if you want to improve hip-shoulder separation, you need to stay dedicated and do the exercises every day and apply them to your pitching. Release point and follow-through. Because Jorik was open before Givens was, Jorik's release point is much sooner in his windup. Don't get this confused, though, by thinking your windup is quicker as a result. It's not. The funny thing is, because of the lack of hip-shoulder separation, your body has no twist and therefore no snap. So, okay, your release point might come sooner, but you take longer to get there and your ball isn't traveling as fast as it could be. Nonetheless, Jorik's follow-through seems fine. The front leg is straight, his body goes over the top of it, and his back leg is staying back. And that was that. Hope this helped. If there are any questions, please let me know.